first thing that I say to any partner is you are just a silent partner. I'm the one that's going to make all the decisions. Are you okay with that? And I'm very intentional about who I partner with for that exact reason.
Real estate gets addicting very fast. I really don't think I would be doing real estate without the type of success that I achieved with my own business.
Welcome to our real estate house party. This is where we celebrate wins, and I mean big wins.
Yes, we're going to be meeting with digital nomads, social media enthusiasts, and other young entrepreneurs, and we're going to celebrate their wins at the biggest party in real estate.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Today, we're super excited to welcome Rebecca, a Los Angeles-based real estate investor and murder mystery enthusiast. I am so excited to get into that. Having started her real estate portfolio in the summer of 2021 at the age of just 21 years old, she has since built a multi-million-dollar portfolio of single-family and multifamily properties in LA and West Hollywood. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi, guys.
So we've heard all about your amazing investing portfolio, but we also hear that you are the owner of Twists and Turns, an immersive escape room, and murder mystery. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So Twists and Turns was created during COVID. It's an online escape room and murder mystery experience for kids. And my motivation to create this was I knew that there were so many kids in the US and internationally that were at home. They didn't have much to do during the pandemic. And I'm a huge lover of escape rooms and solving mysteries. I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan as well. So I decided to put all of my crazy ideas together and to start creating virtual escape rooms for kids.
Rebecca, I wish I had found you during the pandemic, because I had two kids that were losing their minds and just with boredom. And so I wish I had found you. But tell me this. So how did creating or, having those escape rooms and other opportunities online empower your real estate business?
Definitely. Wow. I really don't think I would be doing real estate without the type of success that I achieved with my own business. Once these classes took off online and kids were participating, I saw so much success and I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't realize that type of success was possible for me. So along with that came a lot of accounting needs because I didn't really know what write-offs were at the time. So I got with an accountant and they said, your business is doing great, but the government is also very happy about this because now they're going to take, half of the income that you made. And really their suggestion was you have to get into real estate. You have to get into something where it can offset your tax liability. And I was like, okay, let me dive into this whole new field that I had not known too much about previously.
We'd like to hear just a little bit more about when you discovered that real estate actually had the feasibility to become a full-time thing. Sounds like you kind of went from one business into real estate, but what clicked when you realized that real estate could actually catapult your wealth?
With the business I'd created, I was working a lot. I was working 16-hour days, and sure, I was making a good amount, but it took a lot out of me, and I wasn't feeling very good after a few months into the business. So I was trying to think, what can I do to supplement my income that will be give me a lot of fulfillment in life? And so when my accountant was like, get into real estate, I took it on as a challenge. I thought, let's see if I can turn this into a business, because if that can be more passive than the current job that I've created for myself, I would rather do that. I want to relax a little bit.
So I'm sure you also come into a lot of challenges. You're really young. I started investing young as well. You are a business owner. You are a female. And there's honestly not that many females in real estate, especially who are so young. So can you talk a little bit more about some of the challenges that you ran into and how you overcame them?
All the things you mentioned are things that I had to kind of struggle with, at least in the beginning. Being a woman is tough in real estate because people automatically think that you don't really know what you're talking about, especially when it comes to construction and doing flips. The contractors want to speak with my boyfriend if I have my boyfriend with me, even though he's not the one that funded the project and he's not the one that's managing the project. So kind of changing people's perceptions and building a team of people that really respected me and understood that age doesn't really come into play when you're trying to build a successful business. That was a challenge. And then being young as well, I look young, which is kind of unfortunate. That was tough because I started to acquire multifamilies that had tenants that were currently living there. And it was really hard for the tenants to grasp the concept that their landlord was 20 years younger than them. The dynamic was really awkward to begin with. So it took a lot to kind of build their respect and show them that I actually am there for them, rather than just being some ditz that bought a building for fun.
Rebecca, I love what you said. I feel like I faced the same challenges when I first started, which leads into our next segment beautifully. It's called sus, canceled, and trending. So you want to tell us what those three things are?
Yes. So sus is any strategy that you are just not sure about. You think with the economy shifting, you're just not really sure if it's going to hit the same way. Canceled is something that you would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Maybe you've tried it before and have not succeeded at it, or maybe you just don't want to touch it. And then trending, we're talking about what you think will be the next hottest thing in real estate as the economy continues to shift a little bit. So let's start with sus.
Something I started last year was joint ventures, where I get in on a real estate investment with a few other people. It helps because some of the types of projects I want to do are very expensive and they're kind of longer term. So getting other people involved seemed like a really good thing at the time. I'm sus about this now because when I get these investors involved, especially ones that don't want to just be silent investors, ones that actually want to be hands-on, be at the property, see the type of renovations that are being done, those type of people can slow down the process.
Okay, so I do a lot of JV partnerships, and the first thing that I say to any partner is, you are just a silent partner. I'm the one that's going to make all the decisions. Are you okay with that? And I'm very intentional about who I partner with for that exact reason, because I don't want someone messing up my project or delaying me on the back end. Which brings me to canceled. What is one strategy that you've used or done in the past that you're never going to attempt to do again?
When I started getting into the multifamily space, I was buying a lot of properties in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles has a lot of old multifamily buildings that were built in the early 1900s. And so these buildings are all over 100 years old at this point. And I thought it was a great idea to buy these multifamilies and then to just remodel them, get them into a nicer condition, and then re-rent them for hire. It looked like a good idea. There are so many issues with buildings that are 100 years old that you don't even find when you're doing the initial inspection. And within a month or 2 months, these issues start cropping up, and there's so much money then that has to come out of pocket to fix them. And one issue just cascades into another one. And I've just dumped so much money into repairs that I was not expecting to begin with. And it just made the profit on a deal like that really non-existent because I was not prepared enough for it. So that's not something I'm going to do again. I'm going to look for homes that were built within the last 50 years, ideally, and do really good inspections if I'm buying anything else.
I went through the same thing because I invest in Cincinnati. And so one of the buildings that I bought when I was a new investor, I thought it was so cool that some of these properties had so much history, and it was built in like 1880s or something. So I did a whole building genealogy and thought, wow, what intricacies, so cool. And then all these maintenance items kept on popping up. The windows were old, the roof was old, the brick was falling out. It was so like just a building slapped together. And I also found out the hard way that old buildings, if you don't renovate the whole thing, it's just a kind of a consistent CapEx and maintenance nightmare. So I'm with you on that one. Well, that brings us to the happy note of what do you think is trending? What are you loving? What strategy will you continue to pursue?
I have recently gotten into short-term rentals like Airbnb, VRBO, and what I've noticed amongst other real estate investors that I talk to is that people are now buying properties specifically to short-term rent them. Places like Los Angeles and other cities as well have a lot of these strict restrictions on tenants' rights and the things landlords are responsible for, and it kind of gives tenants a lot of power, and the landlord kind of has lost power. So people are moving from traditional leases to now short-term leases, and they can be more profitable and they're overall just maybe a more enjoyable experience. But the fact that people are now searching for properties that fit the requirements for Airbnb, that can easily be rented out and that don't have many issues to begin with, I really like that. And that's what I'm trying to do as well. I think it will make people a lot of money.
Are you concerned at all about the changing regulation or with how the economy has been sort of on a downward spiral, that people will start to spend less money on local vacations and that sort of thing and not use Airbnb as much?
No, on the contrary, I think people want to travel. COVID was just a rough time for people. People had to be at home, away from their families. Just in the last, month during the holiday season, there were so many people traveling, and my Airbnbs were booked out, and people were just excited to experience a new place. And just feel like their lives had meaning again. So I think that that's going to continue. That sentiment is going to keep people spending money and staying at short-term rentals.
That's so encouraging because I'm converting one of my triplexes into an Airbnb. And we just threw it on the Airbnb marketplace about a week ago, and we have 6 bookings, which is crazy because it's not even in like urban town center. It's pretty suburban. So I'm excited about that. I love your trending. And just fun fact, if you go back to our pilot episode of Real Estate House Party, you'll see Soli's and my discussion on the same 3 topics. And we are so different. None of the topics actually aligned for us, which is really cool and just goes to show that you can make money doing different things in real estate investing. And what works for one person may not work for another, So it's just a fun tip. And Rebecca, I completely agree with you. Short-term rentals for the win for now.
So this brings us to our final segment. It wouldn't be a party without some party favors. So Rebecca, can you give us a party favor for our audience? Can you give them one piece of advice that you want them to walk away with?
Real estate gets addicting very fast. After you buy your first property, you're going to want to buy more and more and more. And I tried to expand very quickly. And I would say the best piece of advice is you can expand quickly. Definitely go for it. But you need to have your reserves in place and you need to be prepared for the worst case scenario. So have some money as backup. Try to think about everything that could possibly go wrong and be prepared for it. Have the people in place that can help you with those issues and have the money as a backup. But expanding is a lot of fun, but it's something that can bring you down. It can actually kill your whole business or it can grow your whole business. So be prepared. And that's in all of life. You want to be ready for these opportunities because once you get it right, you get it really right. And it's awesome.
That happened to me too. I grew from 0 to 25 units in 1 year and imploded with the lack of systems and the lack of reserves. And so from experience, I'd say absolutely have reserves in place, but also have some systems. You have your team in place so that you can support this type of explosive growth.
I love this party favor so much. One of the best piece of advice I've gotten over my career in real estate was do not over leverage. Always work within your means. So this is an amazing party favor for all of you guys. You can really crush your business by going way over your means. So learn to do them one deal at a time. Learn to grow with a strong foundation. So I love that. Thank you, Rebecca. It's been such an awesome time having you here at our house party.
It's been really fun, guys. Thank you for all the fun questions. I'm glad we have so much in common.
So let me ask the audience this. What party favor would you guys leave for your guests? Leave a comment and let us know.